Welcome to Ask the Consul. And every time you hear that song, yes, remember that's a program. My very special guests this morning, Consular Officers, Andrew Chira. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hold on. Andrew?
Yes.
You're looking different today, you know.
Why is that?
I wonder why. And I also have Felix Sanchez.
Yes, sir, at your service.
No, I want to tell me, Felix, I look like big man this morning. I wonder why.
Wonder
I'm carrying
why.
a little bit more weight on my hands these days.
You know, I wonder why. Something has happened, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to say it, Mr. Darby, but yeah, maybe our friend here has gotten...
A haircut?
Yes, a haircut, exactly.
Obviously don't want to say, all right, since he doesn't want to say, I want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
You have stepped up in life. That's what we call it, step up in a life. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best to you and your special one, right?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I
Andrew's
got married last week.
You see how long it took me to get that off?
Andrew's a brave man, Mr. Darby.
Well, I didn't want to disappoint all the fans out there, but it's true. I am married now, off the market.
I know. You didn't want anybody to know, you see?
But I haven't stepped up yet.
Da-da-dum, da-da-dum. I see. I know all the ladies are listening, so careful. All right, gentlemen. Today it's good to have you again, and what are we going to talk about first?
So, just briefly,
yes,
we'd like to congratulate all of those who were honored in this year's Modern Day Heroes Award ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
The charge the affairs attended the event and said it went very well.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. By the way, do you have a similar thing? Do you have national heroes in America?
So we don't have a National Heroes Day per se.
Mm-hmm.
However, we do honor many of the people who we consider
outstanding
to be,
persons.
Yes, national heroes. For example, Martin Luther King. So
right.
we have a Martin Luther King
Day.
Lincoln, we celebrate Lincoln's birthday.
Is it Memorial Day? I'm trying to remember.
We also have
there's
President's Day.
February, yeah.
So we have days like this where we commemorate outstanding people.
Mm-hmm. I think we have a call online already. Cleo? Cleo, good morning. How are you doing? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Mr. Darby. How are you?
Good to have you.
Well, I'm calling from Brownstone.
Brownstone? Brownstone as in St. Ann?
Yes, it is.
A nice place there?
Yes,
near
it
to
is.
Jacksontown and Olympus, Store Town?
Right,
it is really good to have you. I hope everybody hearing us quite clearly down there.
Yes, we are. We are.
And where keep the news to yourself? I hope you tell everybody, you know.
I will. No, I
right.
haven't. I haven't.
You go right ahead.
Okay. Morning to the council.
Good morning.
Good morning, Cleo.
Okay. Just a question. I just fill out my D160 application online. But after I fill out the application, unfortunately, I found where I had made two errors. What can I do to correct that?
Hi, Cleo. This is Andrew. So, if you made some errors on your DS-160,
right.
You can actually go back in and edit them if you haven't scheduled your appointment already, but you'll have to remake an appointment once you edit it, I believe. If you did it yourself online, there should be instructions there on how to edit it, but that's something that is best probably handled through the website.
Okay. So I completed the application, sent it through, and already went on site now to do the payment at the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I do? I can just go back and edit it, you said?
Yes, and I believe most likely you might have to reschedule your appointment because of how the system works now. But it's also possible, I mean, if there are a few minor errors on your DS-160, if it's not material, you can just bring it up to the consular officer during your interview, and it shouldn't be a big deal. But if it's something that you feel like is material and needs to be changed, you should go ahead and change that.
Okay.
And Andrew, before she goes, it's very important to let it be known, because if she goes there and she says something to the officer and that conflicts with what she has entered, then I think that wouldn't be too good at all. So
I mean, we definitely do rely on the information that you provide in the DS-160. But I mean, with that said, it's a conversation. So if there's something that you feel like you made a mistake on, you want to clarify, then you can do that with us at the window too.
Okay. Sorry, on it I had said that it's for my 8-year-old son. I didn't realize the question was sent if he was a refuser visa, and I'd write no, it wasn't, which was yes. And also the visa type, I I think I made an error with saying I should have put B1, B2. I think I put B2, B1 instead.
And so that's information that you can definitely provide at the interview. If you want to go ahead and change that also, that's okay as well. But I mean, we take it all into consideration. We understand that some people make mistakes, hit OK before they meant to hit OK on submitting the form, and so it's not a big deal.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, and say all the best to those wonderful people there in Brownstown. All right, let's go to now George. Good morning, George. Where are you calling from?
Good morning, calling from Kingston.
Good to have you. Go right ahead.
Good morning to the Consul.
Good morning, George.
Yes, okay. My son is a born American. He was listed in the Army, but he got into a little problem, a misdemeanor it was considered, and he was dismissed from the Army. Now, does that in any way hinder him in any form or way from filing for me, is that?
Hi, George.
Yes.
First of all, I just want to say thanks to your son, who is brave to serve in the military, in the Army, and serve our country. We really appreciate that. The short answer is no. Things that pertain to, in this case, your son would be the petitioner, and the person who is being filed for is the beneficiary. So you would be the beneficiary, and the short answer is no. What he did, or whatever the misdemeanor might have been, does not have any effect on the filing for you.
Okay, so it is no problem.
Yeah.
Yes. In short, yes.
If he's an American citizen has, the ability to file for their relatives, and as long as his citizenship is still American, it has no effect on him whatsoever.
Okay.
Situation.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, you have a wonderful day. All the best, my brother. All right, you're listening to At Your Service here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. It's Ask the Consul with my very special guests, Andrew Chira and Felix Sanchez. Gonna go for the break, soon come back, don't move. Welcome back. You're listening to At Your Service here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. Of course, we're having fun, and we have some very special guests here to help you. Yes, it's Ask the Consul, and we have Andrew Chira and Felix Sanchez. We have, it's Karine. We have on the line. Karine, good morning. How are you doing? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Moby.
Oh, Montego Bay. Good to have the lovely city, the friendly city.
Yeah. Okay, if a person has been charged but not convicted, how do they answer on the form for immigration purpose?
So for that question...
okay,
yes,
go ahead.
So in short, you want to report that. U.S. law does not look at expungements. We look at the charges, the offenses, and whether what the convictions are. And so you basically want to report that. Make sure, when in doubt, report it.
Yeah.
So
and
you have a police record that is clear?
So
you need to report it?
So sometimes we've found that police records will not have the convictions that are actually, or the sentencing that is included on the court document. So if, for example, you do have an offense that you've committed or a charge, and the police that you did, and the police record says that there's nothing on file, but you know yourself that you've been sentenced for something, you definitely want to go to the district where you receive that charge and get that court document.
Yeah, and Karine, this is just to piggyback on what Felix was talking about. I mean, the best thing to do is just be upfront with things. And it's always better to tell everything up front, so that way we don't find out about things later. So if in this case where someone might have been charged for something but they haven't been convicted yet, there is a question on the form that you're going to have to fill out which asks if you've ever been arrested before for any reason. And so typically if someone's been charged with something, they've probably been arrested. So just answer that, bring in all the documentation. If the charge ends up getting dismissed, you can bring that in and we can sort that out together at the interview window, but it makes it a lot more difficult if we find out about things later on, and it just delays the process more.
Oh, okay. And also, I'd like to find out how far they reach on the category 3.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
how far they reach and the F3 category?
Oh, F3 category. So right now, applicants whose priority date was May 1st, 2004 for the F3 category, so it's about a 10-year wait right now from the date of filing.
Okay, so you can't tell me. Oh,
We can't tell you the exact date, but we can tell you that the ones that we are currently have come to be current right now go back to about May 1st, 2004.
2004?
Yep, so about 10 years.
May 4th, 2004?
May 1st, 2004. So it's about 10 years.
Okay, then.
And just to add to what Andrew just told you, if you want to check more information or details on your specific case or the category that's being filed, you can always go to travel.state.gov and go to the visa bulletin, and that should give you the information about cutoff dates.
Travel.state.gov?
Yes. And you can Google that, or you can Google visa bulletin, and it'll give you the categories with the priority dates, and it'll explain everything in detail.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good luck.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you very much for calling. Let me go to another caller. Michael, how you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Darby.
Hey, where you calling from?
I'm calling from Whitehall Avenue, Kingston.
Okay, you go right ahead.
Yes. Good morning, Counselor.
Good morning,
Hey,
Michael.
good morning, Michael.
Yes. I was filed by my mother as an unmarried son, and my priority date was 2008. I'd like to know how long should I be waiting for? Hello?
Yep.
Who'll take this question now?
Hey, Michael. So right now you're an adult now, I take it?
Yes.
So you're
Yes,
over 21.
yes.
Okay. So right now the priority date is we are currently interviewing people from 2007. So you probably have about another year's wait
Okay, then.
before yours will come through.
Yes.
About that, estimating. I can't promise anything.
Yes, okay. Then. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
All right, so that's Felix. Okay. All right. Let's go to another caller. Simone. Good morning, Simone. How you doing? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning. Calling from St. Catherine.
Yes, you go right ahead.
Okay, I just have a question. If you have a priority date of July 2007, what would be the repercussions if there's a marriage right now?
Hi, Simone.
Hello?
How are you doing? This is Andrew.
Hi,
So
Andrew.
this is something that I'd probably have to double check. But if you do become married, you actually get put into a different line. So the way the filings work is if you get the people who get filed for, as in your case right now, an unmarried adult, there's a set number of immigrant visas that we're allowed to give out every year for that, and then there's a different set for the people who are married adults. And so, as I said before, as I mentioned earlier, people who are unmarried and being filed for, their priority dates that are coming up right now are from 2007, and people who are married are coming up from 2004. So, in your case, where you were filed for in 2007 and you're unmarried, you might have to wait, and you'd be put into the married line afterwards, which is about a 10-year rate right now.
Okay, so what happens after you get filed for? Is it possible to go ahead and have a marriage right away?
Yep. I mean, if both parties are willing, you can get married. And so that does happen sometimes, and we see that people get married after they've been filed for. And as a green card holder, you can file for your spouse as well.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you very much for calling. We still have you see, we're coming down to the break, and my listeners feel that we'll not take any more calls, but we still have 3 more minutes. So, Consular officers Andrew Chira and Felix Sanchez, they are here, so we have 2 more minutes. Make good use of those 2 minutes. You can call right now. 2 minutes are going by. It's now a minute and a half. If we don't get a call, we have to go for the break.
I actually have something to mention, Vern, that I want
Yes,
to bring
go
up.
right ahead.
So one thing that I want to mention to everyone listening out there is if you have an appointment time to come, your appointment time for your embassy interview is the time that you should show up to the interview. It's not the actual time that you're going to have your actual interview. So let's say you have a 7 o'clock appointment time is what you book online. You can show up at 7 o'clock. If you show up earlier, you're just going to have to wait outside. So it's the time that you show up is your appointment time, not your actual interview time.
I think people are probably just a little bit too anxious.
Which is okay.
So, if your appointment is at 10 o'clock...
Show up at 10 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock. We have, is it Andrea? Is Andrea. All right, Andrea. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Andrea, how you do?
Hi, good morning. I'm
Good
fine.
to have you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from St. Catherine.
Go right ahead.
Okay, my question is, can my parents who are green card holders file for married children? They've just, like about a year gotten their green card.
So your question is, can a green card holder file for their adult children?
Right.
The short answer is, well, it depends, but you want to look at your case. But yes, has she filed for you?
No, not as yet.
Not as yet, okay. So if your mother were to file for you, then you could bring your children along as your derivatives.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that case, her grandchildren will come along as the extension of you.
Mm-hmm.
And green card holders can file for their children. So in your case where your parents have green cards, they could go ahead and file for you.
Okay, but you mentioned about the mother, grandmother. What about the grandfather? Would that be a different scenario?
Nope. So a grandfather can't file directly for their grandchildren, but as Felix mentioned, it'd have to be, so if it's your father filing for you and your children, that would be the way for him to file for the family, but he can't file directly for grandchildren.
Oh, but for the grandmother to do that,
a grandmother also cannot file. Grandparents cannot file directly for grandchildren.
Oh, okay.
The very, very few exceptions are if the grandparents are the custodial guardians of the children. That is, the mom and dad are not in the picture, but they are now the legal guardians. In that case, there are a few exceptions, but otherwise, they cannot do a direct filing. They would have to be, your mother would have to file for you, and then you would bring, again, your children with you as your derivatives.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful day. You're listening to At Your Service here on... I'll tell you what, before I go for the break, let me just take Melissa. Melissa, good morning. Melissa? I think we lost Melissa there.
No.
So, Melissa, could I ask you to call? Could please call back, Melissa, when we come back from the break. You're listening to At Your Service here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. It's Ask the Consul, and we have consular officers Andrew Chira and Felix Sanchez. Vernon Darby saying to you, soon come back, don't move. Welcome back. You're listening to At Your Service here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. My very special guests, consular officers Andrew Chira and Felix Sanchez. Melissa, I'm so glad to have you back. I heard you got cut off. Sorry about that.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Good morning, Consulate.
Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Melissa.
I'm calling to find what is the most important thing that I should know upon approaching the interview or the window?
Well, one of the most important things, and Andrew, if you have anything to add, feel free to chime in, but it's the number one document, which is the truth.
Yeah.
Come have an open, honest conversation with us. Let us know, why you want to go to the States, and how you plan to do that, and you should be fine.
Okay.
I thought you had what?
I mean, Melissa, if you have any questions in specific, feel free to tell us so that we get a better understanding of what your question is.
And just to kind of, one thing that our boss, Consul General Mike Schimmel, likes to always tell people is 100% of qualified applicants get their visas 100% of the time. And so if you come in, bring your information, and if you're qualified, it should be no issue.
Exactly.
I had 2 previous visas. I went like a year or 2 ago, and I was told that I should establish myself a bit more. So now I have applied again, so I'm just hoping for the best.
Well, we'll definitely give your fullest consideration when you come in for your interview again. But I just want to reiterate, there's no secret sauce to how to get a visa. It's just you come in, you tell us your situation and what your plan is to do, and if you're qualified, you will get your visa.
All right, thanks much.
Have a good day.
Okay, thank you very much for calling. You know, many persons feel that there's this feeling out there that if you have applied for your visa once and you have been denied entry, then the good Lord help you, you're not going to get it again. There's that feeling out there.
That's right, Mr. Darby. There's a misconception.
Yes.
We understand that people's situations change, life changes, right? You know, if you were a student, later on you get a job, you work, and so we understand that. And so if you've been refused the visa in the past, as Andrew said, the next time you come into the interview, you will be given the fullest consideration. However, we do advise that if you've been refused in the past and you're going to come for another visa interview, that your situation has changed and that you're able to speak to the new situation that you find yourself in.
You're listening to At Your Service here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. My very special guests, Consular Officers Andrew Chira and Felix Sanchez.